Hi, my name is Mike, always with my brother Chris and my buddy Zach on The Rock, where we talk about Christian theology and Christian living. Like a lot of you out there, when it comes to what we believe and how we want to act on earth and what we are seeking after life, we look at the proof and the evidence behind it. So today I want to talk about Jesus Christ as a human being, that he actually physically lived here on earth among us. So we're going to look at three different sources. We have biblical sources, non-biblical sources, and archaeological sources. Firstly, our biblical sources. The earliest biblical source is from a writer named Paul. Now, Paul started his writings about 50 to 60 AD, and he wrote 14 books in the New Testament, books like Romans and Titus and Ephesians. Now, importantly about Paul is that he was not always a Christian leader. Early on in his life, he was actually a Christian persecutor, and it wasn't until he was on a journey to a town called Damascus, where he had an encounter or a vision with the resurrected Jesus. And this happened about 4 years after Jesus' death, resurrection, and after he ascended to heaven. Um, Along with these books, there are about 20,000 other surviving New Testament manuscripts with various languages that attest to the life of Jesus Christ. Another biblical source I want to talk about are the four Gospels: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Now, in these Gospels, they provide the most detailed account of Jesus' life, ministry, death, and resurrection. Um, these are the people that actually lived and followed and learned from Jesus himself. They traveled all throughout Israel, Galilee, Judea, and Samaria. They also traveled outside of Israel to towns like Tyre and Sidon. Important to note that these writers, along with other New Testament writers and all the followers of Jesus, they believed in Jesus so much that towards the end of their life, they were actually murdered for what they believed in. Now, food for thought. Think about the things that you love and the things that you believe. Are you willing to go to that end? Are you willing to believe in it so much that you would die for it? Next, we have some non-Christian sources. The first one I want to talk about is Josephus. Josephus was a Jewish historian who wrote in the late first century. He referenced Jesus, noting his execution from Pontius Pilate. In his works, such as the Testimonium Flavium, he describes Jesus as a wise man who performed miracles or wonderful works. He was a teacher, the Christ, and someone who appeared to his followers alive on the third day after crucifixion. Next, we have Tacitus. Now, Tacitus was a Roman historian who wrote about Christus. Now, Christus is the word where we actually get the word Christians from. The significance behind Tacitus's writings is that they offer one of the earliest and most reliable extra-biblical sources for the existence of the early history of Jesus and the Christian movement. Tacitus is considered one of Rome's greatest and most meticulous historians, with access to Roman archives and his reputation for critical evaluation of his sources. So he's very meticulous of what the sources that he used for all of his writings. Being a Roman historian, he had a negative view of the Christians and the Christian faith, which makes his collaboration with these writings more significant, because no one would write something that they didn't believe or didn't witness or have proof behind. In some of his writing, he states that Christ suffered the extreme penalty, which is crucifixion, at the hands of Pontius Pilate during the reign of the Emperor Tiberius, which proves that Jesus did live, die by execution, which provides the basis of the Bible. So if the crucifixion was real, then we can assume that the New Testament was real. So that's what it's mostly about. Thirdly, we have a man named Marabara Sabarian. He was a Syrian writer, and we found in one of his letters to his son that he mentions the wise king of the Jews whose teachings continue. to live on. And we can state, or historians have noted, that this is Jesus Christ. Thirdly, we have archaeological evidences. Now, archaeological discoveries have confirmed the existence of first century Judean towns, such as Nazareth, which in the Bible we see that's where Jesus was a child, and this is where he grew up. Also in Nazareth, they had Roman crucifixions. We also have physical artifacts such as the mosaic, which is like a basement floor from the Megadon prison, mentioning to God, in quotations, to God, Jesus Christ, providing early physical evidence that Jesus was real and that he was worshipped. We also have the Pilate stone, discovered in the Caesarea Maritima, providing direct archaeological confirmation of Pontius Pilate and his role as the prefect of Judea. And this is the same figure in the Bible. He's the man that actually sentenced Jesus to die by crucifixion. We also have early synagogues. The discovery of ancient synagogues from the Second Temple period, such as the hometown of Mary Magdalene. Now, Mary Magdalene is also described in the Bible. And this confirms that after Jesus' death, we had places and events where they held early Christian meetings. Lastly, we have the Pool of Siloam. Now, in this Pool of Siloam, this is where in the Bible we see Jesus heal a blind man. Now, the Pool of Siloam was just recently discovered in early 2000s. So if we have all these biblical evidences, we have these non-biblical evidences, and we have these archaeological evidences that on their own, they might not carry a lot of weight, but together we can put the puzzle pieces together and give us a very high probability that Jesus was here, that he died, he rose, and was resurrected and went to heaven. And if all this happened, then we have all the proofs that Jesus was alive and he was here. And we have the creation, such as human beings and plants and water and the rest of the earth, that we can, with these two evidences, we can see and we can state that the Bible itself is real. Now, if the Bible itself is real, then God is real. So that's something I want you to think about. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe. And if you have any questions or comments, please write them below. Thank you.